Hey, if you subscribe to my free gift, you're getting this free video. So it's gonna be available to you guys first, and then I may upload it on YouTube later. So this is the page that you got. It's the first page of my workbook journal, and it's all about getting organized. So for those of you who know Marie Kondo, she has you bring all of your clothes, for example, out into one big pile to deal with it all at once. Please know that doesn't work for everyone. While it may work for some, and she has a lot of great takeaways from her books and shows and stuff, it's not ideal for everyone. It can be very overwhelming, it can be daunting, it can be a lot. It is great to focus on one category at a time, like clothes, but what I recommend is maybe starting with the clothes that you have hanging in your closet. And then another time you look at the clothes you have in a dresser. And maybe another time you look at the clothes you have in a hall closet or a garage or attic, or it's okay to do this in bite-sized chunks. Sure, it's more efficient, and when you can really see how much you have, you may be more inclined to only keep the best. But if you do one area at a time of where you keep your clothes, you can still merge and purge is what I call it. You might still join some categories and realize, oh my God, I've got 7 purple puffy jackets. I really only need 1 or 2, right? So the sorting is really the way to become a master organizer is becoming a master sorter. It's 80% of this. 80% usually, in my experience, is of our time is spent sorting, putting like with like, so we can see what the heck we have. All right, so when you sort, you don't want to get too detailed right away, because if you're sorting safety pins from buttons and paper clips and staples from a junk drawer, oh my God, you might drive yourself crazy. But if you sort like paper from clothes and electronics, like batteries, and you just start to practice general sorting like that as if you're shopping at Target, then it will be way more doable. So sort general stuff first, then when you delve into a category like your electronics pile, start to detail sort, meaning sorting that general category that got grouped together. Am I making sense? So at first you start general and you've got all these electronics. Then you go detailed and you start to do batteries, cords, right? And you'll find that the sorting is organizing. When you're putting like with like, you're more easily able to move on to the next step and make informed decisions on how you're going to purge. And then when it's time to organize, well, the stuff's already sorted, so it's easy to put away in one place, right? So sorting is essential, and I promise the more you do it, the easier it will get. So start general, then get detailed, and this is you getting to know your inventory. The more you can know what you own, how much of it, and where it's at, the more likely you are to use it, to love it, to access it, and then to notice when you're not and let it go and let someone else enjoy it, right? And it'll help encourage you to be more of a conscious consumer, paying attention to what you are bringing into your home, because you want to take care of what you have first before you go out and buy more, right? So sorting is a powerful way to really know your inventory and know it well. Now, I'm going to move on to step 2. Let me back up for a second. What are you going to sort? How do you know where to start? What if you're so overwhelmed, you're just like, oh my God. So I would say, think of this spectrum. You could start at one end where you want to ease in and do the easy stuff first. Maybe books are easy for you. Or you can start at the other end where you want to get the hardest thing over with that you've been avoiding. And then you'll realize, oh, at least that's done, and the rest won't be so bad. So pick one of those ends. If you end up somewhere in the middle, that's okay too. But I recommend starting easy and flowing in, or getting the hardest thing over with, maybe that has more of a challenge. As long as you don't give up, don't get stuck. And I recommend focusing on 1 or 2 categories at a time. So if you need a break on clothes or paper, pause and work on something else. But return to that original one after you've gotten to take a break from it. Because if you try to juggle and organize, go through this with more than 3 things at a time, 3 categories, You may not finish. It may be super overwhelming, and your brain can only process so much. Our brains are like computers, so they have files and they have ways of scanning and processing what something is in front of them. And it can be exhausting if it has to keep figuring out, what am I looking at? So focus on 1 or 2 categories at a time. Set a timer for 90 minutes. Take a break for 10 or 20, and then set a timer for 90 minutes again. Give yourself chunks sometimes of 15, 30 minutes. But the more you can sort and continue this journey and contain and even label where you're at with stuff, like sorted or need to sort or donate, like don't assume you'll remember, because a lot of times we get busy and we put it aside and then we have to start all over again instead of being able to pick up where we left off. So use Post-its or painter's tape and Sharpies and really make this an ongoing process and keep chipping away at it. Keep sorting and purging and putting the keeps away in their home. You're not going to know what those homes are yet until we get there, okay? So don't jump to that. Don't start making it all cute until you've sorted and purged first. You could start small with like a closet, or you could do a whole room, but don't take on your whole house all at once, okay? Pace yourself. You could start by trying to clear surfaces and floors and then start getting into the drawers, or you could focus on one category at a time. So that's my suggestion there. Now, when we get into, now I'm ready for the second step, okay? Purging. This is letting go of what no longer serves you. Have nearby, trash, recycle. If you're doing paper, shred, donate, maybe sell. Usually it's not worth selling items, but if there's stuff that's high value, like antique or vintage or name brand, or great technology or vintage technology. Like there's only a few things that are worth even trying to sell. Look it up on eBay and see what it sold for. And if you're willing to do the work of taking photos, uploading the content, taking it to the post office, it's a lot of work. It's not usually worth it. It's better to donate most of the time and get the tax write-off, or just feel good because you shared, What else? Trash, recycle, donate. Sell. Maybe there's items you're letting go of that don't belong to you but belong to a friend and they left it there and you need to return it to them. Put all that stuff together. Maybe there's returns to go to the store that it doesn't fit, or it's a return to Macy's. I don't know. Put all that stuff together. When you're purging, you're extracting stuff from your space that doesn't belong, that doesn't need to be there. I don't care what it is. Start extracting it. Start letting it go. Start making room, making space for you to be able to keep sorting, purging, and organizing. And know that if you start to feel your space free up, things are melting away, it's okay. You don't have to fill it up. And you might see yourself taking 2 steps forward and 1 back sometimes. Like you might get a lot of sorting and purging done one weekend, but then Monday comes and you're busy all week. And then when you come back to it again on the next weekend, you're like, holy crap, there's still a lot to do. It's okay. Just keep going, but pace yourself. Don't burn out. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself through this process and be kind to yourself. Don't be a drill sergeant, all right? Unless that helps you, like really helps you. Don't damage yourself in the process. This is just organizing. Okay? So when you're purging, put it near the door and get it out right away. Fill up your car, go to your closest charity, call them first to see if it's something they actually need. A lot of times we assume that they need what we have, but they don't always have the space for it, or they have plenty of that, but they need something else. So call first if it's a shelter or a nonprofit. If it's a Goodwill, they do take just about anything. Depending on the location and the person, you can usually just drop it off and be like, bye, thanks, and they'll sort it out. They also take electronic waste, which is great. But I can understand if not everyone wants to go to Goodwill, because even though they're a nonprofit, there are a lot of issues around them making too much money off of people's stuff. So that's a personal choice for you, but definitely find a place that you can easily, consistently get it out. If you want to schedule a donation pickup, the only places that really do that anymore, depending on your area, are like Salvation Army and Veterans of America. Maybe Out of the Closet. Maybe you'll get a flyer in the mail where there's a scheduled Dream Center or someone coming to do a pickup one day. Put it on your calendar. Tape that flyer to your door. Let it be incentive to like give them as much as you can. Pickups are great because they just come and get it all for you. If you have large pickups like furniture, a lot of times it's to the driver's discretion of whether or not they'll take it. They'll decide on the spot. And if they don't, I recommend curb alerts. In fact, just do that right off the bat if you're allowed to in your neighborhood. Put your large furniture on the curb with a sign that says free. And if no one's taking it, then post it on Craigslist for free, on the Let Go app for free. What's the other one? Penny Saver? No. Free Cycle. Free. Just let people come and get it. Depending on your neighborhood, it's not always a good idea depending on where you live. Yeah, let go. Purging feels great. When we're sick, what do? We throw up and then we feel better, right? It's the same thing. It's like when you've got too much and it's not serving you, it's just going to nag at you and drain you and kind of crush your soul a little bit. Maybe it's not that intense, depends on what it is, and how much of it you have. But purge, let go, trust, it's okay. Some categories will be easier than others. Some are going to feel so difficult because maybe they remind you of someone or something. The item itself isn't the most important thing as the memory of it and the way it makes you feel. So if you need to take a picture of it first, go right ahead. If you need to have a moment with it, hold it to your heart and then let it go. If you want to find it the perfect home because then you know it's still like in your vicinity somehow, I caution you there because that's like you're managing a whole nother project of like where you're trying to control where all your stuff goes. And really like having too much clutter is often a sign of, it's similar to OCD where you're trying to control or you're not feeling control enough. So you hold on. When really, if you can just trust in the process of letting go, trust that you're making space to receive new stuff anyway, it works every time. Whenever I let go of something, suddenly someone's giving me a better version of that thing. It works too with like jobs you don't care about anymore or relationships that are really toxic or abusive. When you let go of what's not serving you anymore today, you are literally telling the universe, I'm ready to receive something greater. Woohoo! Just be kind and loving to yourself and others through that process. All right? So that's enough on purging for now. Third step. All right, we're going to organize. So it's like 3 steps to getting organized, and the third one's organize. What's that about? Yes, but you were organizing while you were sorting and while you were purging, and now you're left with these categories. And you get to see, all right, where do they go? Start with the obvious homes first, like kitchen stuff goes in the kitchen. Bathroom stuff goes in the bathroom. Office stuff goes in the office. Bedroom stuff like clothes and all that in the closet. But then you're going to have your gray areas that don't have obvious homes like decor and memento and specialty items, things that could go anywhere around the house. Do those last. If you start to put things in their general vicinities of the room or zone they go in, and get those things put away, at least in the area, then you'll be left with the gray area and you'll know where you have spaces around to potentially put it. Am I making sense? It's been a long day. So basically start with it's in the workbook. Start with the obvious things first. And then do the not so obvious. Does that make sense? Okay. Start with your supplies first before you go out and buy new ones. Be the solution before you buy the solution. All right, that's one of my favorite sayings that I came up with. I wonder if anyone else has ever said that. Be the solution before you buy the solution. Magazines and IKEA catalogs and commercials and media, they all make it, a lot of times they make it look like, oh, if you just get the right storage bins and shelving and cubby holes with baskets and, hide your stuff in, well, You may make it look okay, but it may not function well. If you're not sorting and purging and you're just throwing a bunch of random stuff into a little cubby basket, when you go trying to find something, good luck, right? The more you have things sorted and grouped together and then intentionally placed in their home based on the access you need, the better. All right. Sometimes going to Target and getting clear Sterilite bins, no side snap lids. Those break. Just get the flat white lid. I like to get small, medium, and large clear Sterilite bins for sorting. And then if I take good care of them and I don't actually need them, I return them. And if you don't have the receipt, as long as you have the card that you use to purchase them, you're probably fine, at least at my Target. So really try to work with what you have first. But if you're going to go out and get stuff, get clear bins for sorting. Maybe you'll end up keeping some of them to store your stuff. And yeah. Now, this is decluttering and organizing. You may feel really inspired to get super detailed and meticulous about how you label and decorate and make it all cute, zen, feng shui, awesome, cool. That's your reward. That's your cherry on top of the ice cream sundae. That's what you get to do after you've decluttered, after you've started organizing and systemizing the keeps in a way that really makes sense to you. Working with the shelving and the cubbies and things you already have before you potentially go online. Get some inspiration from Pinterest if you want. Make it your own. Celebrate your self-care through your space care. And, it's important to celebrate. I just had this conversation with a client today who she used to just keep going. Okay, what's the next thing? But she wouldn't stop and congratulate herself for some real progress and victories made, and really take that in and be like, holy moly, I just organized my home office, and that's been a struggle for years. Right on. Okay, I'm going to celebrate and I'm going to take the weekend off, versus okay, what now? And so that a lot of that's mindset and being frantic and in scarcity and lack mentality. We really want to let that go. We really want to allow this process to unfold, take joy in it, be curious about yourself through the process, journal throughout the process. That's why I made this workbook journal. And really let it be a journey. We're all on this journey of decluttering, all of us, okay? Even the neat freaks. So I hope this helps. I really am passionate about this work. I started doing it as a teenager in the late 90s. It's been a long time. And now I have people that I send out in Los Angeles, and they're amazing. And I've been doing more coaching and consulting from home, especially now that I have a workbook with these steps. And sometimes I assign people books to read, like if Marie Kondo, Spark Joy is a good fit, great. Or I'll just highlight certain sections that may help them and give it to them as homework. But really getting organized is what you guys are focused on. That was the free gift you got. Focus on that first while keeping staying organized in mind. That just requires, once everything has a home, be in the habit of putting that stuff in its home. That means slowing down a little bit, taking a little extra time to put it away correctly when you can, and having a daily sweep, either first thing in the morning or end of day, so that whatever you couldn't put away perfectly right away, like laundry is a big one, then give yourself some time at the beginning or end of the day, or a weekly sweep if a daily is too much. Right? So just commit, recommit. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about learning these skills. Sorting is 80%, purging is 10%, and organizing, the final keeps, is 10%. That's my experience, guesstimation. All right? So getting organized is awesome. Staying organized is the next step. Once you start to have, let's say your library is organized of books, great. So whenever you're reading or lending out books or whatever, put them back when you're done. While you keep on sorting and purging other areas, the ones that are sorted and purged, keep them organized by practicing putting them away as you go. All right? And what else? yeah, if you're trying to do this on your own, awesome. If you need support, maybe there's an accountability buddy that you can have where you guys help each other. Maybe you check in every week. Maybe you go to each other's homes and take turns actually helping each other sort and purge and be like, should I keep this? No, girl. You know what I mean? But don't be judgy. It's so great to do this with non-judgment, in my opinion. That's how I work. You know, like, girl, why are you keeping that? Well, because I love it and I think it's cute. Well, you know, like, anyways, we all have our treasures, and one person's trash is another person's treasures, but sometimes it's the other way around too. It's like someone may treasure something that someone else may consider trash. So it's none of our business what someone else calls trash or treasure. It's just not. It's up to each of us to decide. That's our truth to determine. Someone can make a suggestion, they can have an opinion, and they may be trying to fiercely kind of love and guide you, support you into making a good decision. So maybe listen to them. But when it's coming from you, it's way more sustainable. It's way more likely to stay organized because you're the one making those decisions and you're the one who's going to keep it up. And then you're not depending on someone else anymore to do it for you. But it's also okay to ask for help and get support. There's also CA, Clutterers Anonymous. I think that's what, yeah, Clutterers Anonymous. There are chapters all over the country, maybe the world. And if you're really struggling with hoarding or being a pack rat, letting go of stuff, feeling attached, check out a Clutterers Anonymous group. There's no shame in that at all. And yeah, if you want to get the whole workbook journal, awesome. The digital copy is $25. Maybe eventually I'll have a print copy, or if you pay a little extra, I can send it to you. And if you really want support on getting organized, staying organized, or maybe you got that down, but the parts of the workbook journal that talk about balancing and prioritizing your life, everything that's on your plate, your life purpose work, like your driving force for why do you even want to get up and, you know, spend time in your space and out there in the world? Are you connected to what you're doing? Are you letting clutter and stuff get in the way of you thriving and flourishing? Whether it's mental clutter, like negative limiting beliefs, emotional clutter, feeling stuck with anxiety or depression, or physical clutter in your space that's weighing you down and distracting you. You can't even focus. Don't let clutter get in the way of you being who you are fully and authentically. Right? We don't want to stand in the way of our greatness, and clutter gets in the way of our greatness. So if you ever want support with any of this, reach out. I do free 15-minute sessions just to hear you and see if there's some support I can give you. Especially if you're interested in working together, that's like a mini taste of what it's like working with me. And then I can recommend to you either that we have a virtual session together or an ongoing coaching and accountability program. And I have one that matches this workbook. It's awesome. So if you want more info, just reach on out. Go to my website, creativelyneat.com, and book a call or email me. All right? I hope this was helpful. This video is just for y'all for a while, and then I may go ahead and post it on YouTube and share because I don't ever make YouTube videos and people are asking me. Because I'm busy, but you know. Much love. Get organized, stay organized. You are worth it. It's so worth it. It's like magical, and I'm excited for you. So congrats on taking the first step by signing up for this free gift. 3 simple steps to organizing anything. What are they? Sort, purge, and then organize the keeps. All right, you got this. Bye.